From 2026, a motorcycle helmet can be fully road legal, ECE 22.06 certified and still not be accepted in an FIM World Championship. Why? Because FIM 2 adds racing specific impact tests, looks more closely at rotational forces and skull fracture risk, and even checks how safely the helmet can be removed after a crash. But does that make FIM 2 the best helmet standard in the world? And if you never race, is an FIM 2 helmet actually worth buying? Let's find out. The official name is FRHPHE02, Phase 2 of the FIM Racing Homologation Program for helmets. Thankfully, almost everyone just calls it FIM 2. FIM 2 does not replace a normal helmet certification. Before a helmet can enter the FIM program, it must already meet an accepted international standard such as ECE, Snell or JYS. FIM is therefore an extra layer of testing developed specifically for motorcycle racing. And in a real crash, your helmet rarely hits the ground perfectly straight. It normally hits an angle, creating both straight and rotational forces. And that rotation matters because your head can turn extremely quickly, increasing the risk of certain brain injuries. FIM 2 looks more closely at how a helmet manages these complex impacts. Here is something many buyers miss. FIM approval does not automatically cover every size of the same helmet. According to the FIM, 4 samples are tested for each submitted size. These helmets are hit at different, partially random locations. And this matters because different sizes can use different shells or EPS liners. So if you need an FIM approved helmet for racing, check both the model and the exact size. And furthermore, the helmet should also have an official FIM label sewn into its chin strap. This includes a QR code that you can scan to check its homologation. FIM 1 already included angled impact testing, but FIM 2 uses new impact setups and updated limits. The laboratory measures both straight and rotational forces using criteria such as BRIC, the brain injury criterion. In simple terms, FIM 2 is not only asking how hard did the head hit, it's also asking how quickly and severely did the head rotate. And of course, no laboratory test can tell us exactly what will happen in every real crash, but it does allow different helmets to be compared under the same controlled conditions. FIM 2 also introduces the skull fracture criterion or SFC. This looks at forces linked to skull fractures. And why add another measurement? Because one score cannot tell us everything about how a helmet performs. By looking at both straight and rotational forces as well as different injury criteria, the FIM gets a more complete picture of how the helmet manages an impact. The fourth upgrade is about what happens after a crash. FIM 2 includes functional tests for quick removal cheek pads. Medical personnel may need to remove a rider's helmet while moving the head and neck as little as possible. Removing the cheek pads first creates more room and makes it easier to take off the helmet. And these systems have existed for years, but FIM 2 now checks whether they actually work. So it cannot just be a red tab added for marketing. Manufacturers do not receive FIM 2 approval by simply showing that a helmet has already passed ECE 22.06. The helmets are physically tested by the FIM approved laboratory. If a model or size fails, the manufacturer may need to change the EPS, add material or adjust another part of the construction. According to the FIM, one helmet size had to go through testing 7 times before it was finally approved. And that improves one important point. An ECE 22.06 helmet does not automatically pass FIM 2. Meeting the FIM requirements can require real engineering changes, not just a new sticker. Another major change is that FIM 2 now includes off-road helmets. FIM 1 was developed for circuit racing, but FIM 2 also covers disciplines such as motocross, enduro, speedway and cross-country racing. Circuit and off-road helmets have very different designs. A circuit helmet normally has a closed visor and is designed around high-speed aerodynamics. An off-road helmet usually has a large eye port, an extended chin bar and a peak. FIM 2 covers both types but keeps them in a separate approval categories. So check that the exact model, size and helmet category are approved for your type of racing. So, how does FIM 2 compare with the other major standards? The main difference is in their purpose. ECE 22.06 is mainly a road helmet regulation. It tests areas such as impact protection, the chin strap, the visor and approved accessories. Compared with ECE 22.05, it also added more impact locations, different speeds and angled impact testing. FIM2 starts with an already certified helmet and then adds its own racing-focused tests and limits. Snell is an independent voluntary certification with its own tests, but the Snell certified helmet still needs to pass this separate FIM program to receive FIM2 approval. DOT is the mandatory road standard in the United States. Manufacturers certify that their helmets meet the standard, while American authorities can test selected helmets afterwards. DOT was designed as a legal road standard, not as a professional racing homologation. So is FIM2 simply better than all the others? Not exactly. It was designed for a different and more specialized job, professional motorcycle racing. So, should you buy an FIM2 helmet if you only ride on the road? Well, FIM2 is definitely a positive sign. It shows that the approved model and size passed extra racing-focused tests on top of an existing certification. But that does not automatically mean it is the best helmet for you. A race helmet can be louder, more expensive and less practical than a touring helmet. It may also be designed for a racing position that you rarely use on the road. A good ECE 22.06 touring helmet may offer less wind noise, greater comfort and more useful everyday features. And above all, the helmet still needs to fit your head correctly. So certification matters, but fit, comfort and the way you ride matter as well. So, is FIM2 the best helmet standard in the world? For professional racing, it is one of the most specialized and complete homologations currently available. It adds new impact methods, more advanced rotational testing, the skull fracture criterion and a proper test for quick removal cheek pads. It also brings FIM approval to motocross and other off-road disciplines. But a helmet without FIM2 is not automatically unsafe. What FIM2 proves is that the exact approved model and size passed an extra series of demanding racing tests on top of an existing helmet certification. So here's the question. Would you pay extra for an FIM2 helmet if you never ride on a racetrack? Let us know in the comments. And if you want to see which FIM2 helmets are currently available, check out our selection at championhelmets.com. Ride safe and buy smart, and we'll see you in the next one.